friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Crystal, and in today's video I'm going to share with you my top 5 tips on how to save money. These are tips that I have been implementing in my life in the last 2 to 3 years that have helped me save a lot of money without even thinking about it. So if you guys want to learn my ways on how to save money, then just keep on watching. Okay, so my first tip on how to save money is to do all of your daily, weekly, monthly expenses that you know that you're gonna have to pay for, like gas and groceries and, food for your pet and all of that stuff like that. Take it out of your bank account and put it in separate cash envelopes. Now, I have a lot of cash envelopes. I basically live off of these things. So these are some of mine. I can go into them in a different video, but basically every month I will budget out how much money I need to put in each of these cash envelopes, write it into my budget, go to the bank and take out the specific amount that I need to fill these envelopes. So I have one for gas, groceries, date night, if I wanted to, stuff for my dog, medical expenses, stuff like that. All of my big expenses such as my rent, utilities, car payment, car insurance, and then my dog's pet insurance, all of that comes straight out of my bank account. So it's on auto pay and I don't have to worry about any of that. So all of my other expenses come out in cash. That way I do not overspend in my bank account and I'm not swiping my card every single day, not really keeping track of how much money I'm spending. So tip number 1, do all of your regular expenses in cash. Okay, so my second tip is to do savings challenges throughout the year. And this is a great way to save up money for Christmas if you're into that. It gives you a lot of money at the end of the year, or you can save for a vacation that you want to take the following year, things like that. So the first challenge that I recommend is if you are using the cash envelopes, obviously you're always going to get some change back from your daily purchases. So I've been saving up these $1 bills. So every time I get a $1 bill, I put it into this jar. And then obviously I save up all my change for my expenses. So this is a great way to save up money throughout the year without even really thinking about it. I know people do like the $5 bill challenge, the $10 bill challenge. I just do $1 just because I have a bunch of different methods of saving money. So every time I get a $1 bill, it goes in here. I counted this about 2 weeks ago and it had like $55 in it so far. And I've been doing this for about 3.5 months. So who knows? I mean, maybe I'll have like over 200 bucks by the end of the year. And that's $200 that I wouldn't have had. So that's a great one. The other savings challenge that I am very strict on is the 52-week challenge. So I'm sure you guys have heard of this, but if you haven't heard of it, basically for every week of the year, so 52 weeks, you save up whatever week that is, that amount of dollars. So if it's the 17th week of the year, you save $17 that week and you put it into an envelope. I don't do that necessarily. I take up all of the weeks in that month and add them together as a lump sum, and then I save that amount of money. So I also do it backwards, so like the highest week at the beginning of the year. So I do 52 plus 51 plus 50 plus 49, and then I round it up to the nearest 5. So the first week, the first month, I saved $205. The next month, add up all the weeks, and I think it's, let's see here, $185. So it goes down by $20 a month. But you can do it going like 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4, saving that and putting it in an envelope. I just don't like to save a lot of money around Christmas time, which is why I do it in reverse. So I have all of these cash envelopes here, and this is just for my 52-week challenge. So every month I put the amount of money that I'm supposed to save. So for May, it's $140. And I take that specific amount of money and write it into my budget. I take that money out and put it into this monthly cash envelope. So at the end of the year, I should have $1,400 throughout all of these envelopes. And I use half of that for Christmas, and then the half of it goes into my savings account. So this is a great way to save a large amount of money throughout the year without really trying. I mean, you do have to budget it into your budget to save this amount of money every month. But my mom actually taught me this savings hack, and she's a server, so she gets paid every day, which is easy for her to throw in a certain amount of money each week. But since I get paid twice a month, I just take out half in one paycheck and half in the other paycheck, and then I have all of my money for that specific month. So I just advise you guys do any sort of savings challenges that you can afford to do. The 52-week challenge is a little bit intense, especially if you do not have like a steady income that you can make sure that you save every week or every 2 weeks. But the dollar and change challenge is something that everybody can do. So I highly recommend giving yourselves mini savings challenges throughout the year. So another tip is if you do not like taking money out of your account and using it in cash, the best app that I have found that has helped me save so much money is called Capital. I will put the name of it right here. It is the best savings app that I've ever used. And basically you can set up different savings goals throughout the app, and it will deduct money out of your account whenever you tell it to. So I do mine on a weekly basis, and it deducts $13 out of my account every Sunday and goes into my Capital savings account. And at the end of the year, I have $670 saved in my Capital app. And you can take that money out and redeposit it into your bank account whenever you want. So there's no fees. It is completely free to use. And with my 52-week challenge, as well as my Capital app savings, I save over $2,000 a year without even thinking about it. I mean, that's just something that comes out of my account, and I never feel it ever, because it's $13 a week. That's like 2 frappuccinos at Starbucks, you know what I mean? So that is the best app that I have ever used, and I highly recommend it if you don't like going to the bank a million times a month like I do, and just want something to be taken out of your account as well. And I also know that whatever bank you bank at, you can set up a reoccurring withdrawals from your account that will go into a savings account if you want to do that as well. So that is tip number 3. Use the Capital app, or just set up a automatic withdrawal from your bank account every month. Okay, so tip number 4 is to give yourself a set amount of spending money. Now, I do this for myself every 2 weeks when I get paid, but if you get paid weekly, you can give yourself a weekly budget, or if you get paid on salary once a month, then you can do this once a month as well. But I give myself $100 every paycheck, so twice a month. This helps me not touch my bank account at all. I do not swipe my card for pretty much anything throughout the month. All of my bills are on auto draft, and then I take out $100 for myself if I want to go to Taco Bell, or if I want to buy something at Walmart or the store or whatever. And once that $100 is up, I don't have any more money to spend until my next paycheck. And I know a lot of people are just like, $100 is not enough. But that's the beauty of like creating your own budget, is that you take out however much you spend in a 2-week period or whatever it may be. If I want to go get a drink at the bar, I'll use money out of that separate spending allowance that I give myself, and I keep that money in my wallet. So I take out 520s every paycheck, put it in my wallet, and use that money throughout the 2 weeks. Now, that is not for groceries or gas or any of my cash envelopes. Those get their own separate money, but just for my like random spending that I want to do that day, that's where that money comes out of. So I would highly recommend setting up your own spending allowance every month. And this will help you in so many ways that you will not even realize. I mean, just set it up however you want. If you need $200 a week, then set it up for that. You know, that's my favorite thing about budgeting, is that everybody's budget can be different. And I just do $100 for myself because I live a very strict lifestyle, and $100 is more than enough for the things that I want. So tip number 4, set up your own spending allowance. Okay, and my 5th tip is to save a small percentage of your paycheck. So I usually like to do between 3 and 5%. If you can't afford that, just do 1 or 2%. But basically, this helps so much by budgeting out a percentage to take out of your paycheck every time you get paid and putting it into a savings account. So let's say, for instance, you want to do 5% of your paycheck, and let's say that you get paid $1,000 every 2 weeks. So if you save 5% of $1,000, that's $50, and $50 plus $50 for your next paycheck is $100. And at the end of the year, you have $1,200 in your savings account to use for whatever you want to do. Now, if you want to do 1%, that's $10. That's $20 a month. That could potentially make you $200, $300 at the end of the year, which it all depends on how much you can afford to save. But I would recommend saving some sort of percentage of your paycheck and putting it into a savings account. Now, I do this, I budget it every single month when I get paid, and I put that directly into my savings account. I do not take it out in cash for these other cash savings challenges that I do. And that is just a small way that I can save up money in my actual savings account throughout the year. So tip number 5, save a small percentage of your paycheck that you probably won't even feel, honestly, when it comes out. So that is my 5th tip. Okay, I know I said I was gonna do 5 tips, but I'm gonna throw in a little bonus tip, which some people may not be able to do, and that's totally fine, but this is just what works for me. So I have multiple bank accounts. And when I say multiple, I mean I think I have 7 or 8 different bank accounts. So I have one for my car payment, my car insurance, my dog's pet insurance. I have a joint bank account with my boyfriend that our rent and utilities come out of. I have my main bank account, which is where all of my money gets deposited and withdrawn from. And then I also have a vacation account that I use. So every time that I fill up my vacation envelope, I will deposit that money into that bank account and use the specific debit card for that bank account and take that on my vacation. So that way I'm not spending money out of my main bank account. And then I also have 2 savings accounts. So I have my emergency fund and then my regular savings account that I put all of my big savings into. My emergency fund is just my $1,000 for any sort of emergency, so that way I do not have to touch my actual savings account. So that's just a little bonus tip, is if you're having trouble keeping track of where your money is going for all of your different bills and stuff, I would highly recommend getting multiple bank accounts and setting up your auto drafts for that bank account. Another thing is it's really awesome and easy to keep track of your statements that way. So every month I can see that, my pet insurance came out of just this account. So my main bank account isn't falling and falling and falling. And I'm okay, where are all these charges coming from? I know it's coming out of that bank account. I put that specific money in there every month and it gets auto drafted and I don't have to think about it. So that's another little extra tip if you guys are having trouble keeping track of where your money is going. Multiple bank accounts. Do it. All right, guys, so those are my 5 tips plus a little extra one to help you guys save money throughout the year. My biggest takeaway from this video to you guys is to just prioritize your savings. So whatever savings goals that you have, break those down into monthly or bi-weekly or weekly amounts that you can save to work towards your goal. I use all of these tips throughout my life, and it has saved me a significant amount of money just over the last like 2 to 3 years. And I will continue to do these until I reach my savings goals. And I hope that you guys can do some of these as well. If you can't do all of them, just start out by doing 1 or 2 of them. And I promise you that you will see a huge increase in your savings account. So those are all the tips that I have for today. If you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe down below, and I will catch you guys in next week's video. Bye!